Hello, welcome to our show, Embracing Your Design for Midlife Transformation. The tagline, Come Alive to Impact More Lives. As a tiny habits coach, happy for no reason trainer, and the Jinky's guide, I invite soulful professionals to have conversations related to their life experiences, businesses, human design charts, and hologenetic profiles based on gene keys and ancient I Ching. Enjoy our show. Hi, it's my honor to have my guest, Tara Beth Villani. She is amazing astrologer because I just talked to her not long ago, and with her insights, it's just incredible. This is my honor today to have her into this podcast. Carol, you want to say hi to our audience first?
So excited to be here with you guys today. And thank you so much, Sunny, for inviting me to be your guest. I'm really excited for what unfolds today.
Yes, I just fully enjoyed the section I have with Tara. So Tara is amazing storyteller. Based on what she's done with her own journey, she went through a different modality and training, but she's so totally aligned with her own bioenergetic self. And through that, she transfer her knowledge to help other people to realize their soul signature and to guide them through the self-empowerment process. And that is amazing gift. We do need it for this chaotic world right now to have a clarity about who we are and what we are coming here to do. And so I'm so excited to have the chance to learn about her own journey and stories, and I can share my Jinky's insights. It just everything esoteric made me excited. I believe Tara has the same thing. All right, so the first things I will ask Tara, I'm just kind of curious. How come you become who you are today?
That is a very loaded question. So, wow, why am I who I am today? That is through a lot of actually hard work, actually astrologically. Pluto has been transiting my first house since it entered Capricorn. So your first house is all about who you are, being secure in who you are, letting go of the falsity of who you perhaps have thought you were. I am here today because of Pluto's work on me. So, and in the beginning, it doesn't feel good. It just does not feel good. And in the first house, that's also about your physical body. So I went through a lot of health issues. That's how it started out, was with the health issues. And I very much got into health and healing modalities, especially alternative. Previously, before where I am now, when I began my journey, I was a massage therapist. I studied both Eastern and Western modalities, and my mom's very dear friend was an acupuncturist. I grew up knowing all about the meridians, about energy, and being able to access that. And then when I went to massage therapy school, I learned that modality as well. And it just came, it was second nature to me. So it was definitely something I brought here from another lifetime. Having that journey, and then becoming a mother, raising two children, and a lot of focus on the health, more physical. And it wasn't until probably my early 40s when I really started to then really go internal and look at my emotions, how emotions were playing a part in my physical body, and really getting in touch with myself. Because as being a mom, it's like the focus is not on you.
Yeah.
And it's about taking care of your kids, taking care of the family, making sure everybody has what they need, and then disregarding pretty much your needs are always last. So it's always pushed off. I'll take care of myself later until it gets so bad that, you know, you're forced to, right? And then at one point, I also became certified in bioenergetic testing. So that transitioned me from the physical symptoms to more of the core or reasoning, emotional, energetic reasons for what I was feeling physically. And then I continued with becoming a certified healing touch practitioner, which is similar to Reiki. So then I was full on in that, in the whole energetic system and the vibrations. And so during that process, part of my homework was to experience alternative modalities. I decided to try shamanism, and that was the doorway. And just everything just opened up from there, because that shaman that I had gone to, she's the one that introduced me to astrology and my birth chart, and as well as, journeying, for looking into perhaps again too what we've brought here from other lifetimes. So really healing mentally, emotionally, and physically, spiritually, on so many dimensions and so many levels.
Yeah, that I have the same feeling too. Like, just like certain time of our lifetime, we just become aware and really start to move to whatever our soul purpose. I don't think that is special for certain people. It's all being there based on what I know. The gene keys, like we actually has this blueprints when we are landed in the 3D. But most of us just, that's like you said, focus on something is always outside. The family, the career, the money issue, whatever is all outside. But then depends on how we sign up for. We have a particular unique way to start to go inside. I think you're leading your client goes through this embodiment process. Similar like that. So layers of identification. We can see our body, our name, our jobs, but then you see their energy flow and how the emotion blocking whatever they have, they might, but then you go even deeper to their birth charts. So this is actually similar like the gene keys too. So that is fascinating.
So I use my intuition, and I really tap into the chart, and depending on what the transits currently that are happening and perhaps what they're feeling. And so obviously, if I'm in person with someone and they want to have some form of like physical energy work, right? I can do that as well. But if we're over Zoom like we are today, that's a little bit more difficult. So it's more of like really tapping into and going deep, because I'm really the guide as to what wisdom is held within you and in your blueprint. So I'm your tour guide, helping you to navigate the different energies and the different layers. So yes, I have worked with people like doing some energy work with tapping into like the different chakras. So when going through their birth chart with them and how that's connected, and to really allowing the person to feel into it, because we often shove what we're feeling underneath the rug. to ignore it, right?
Mm.
Where it's like you really sometimes have to sit in it in order to receive its message, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm-hmm.
it's there, whether it's a pain, you have a lower back pain or whatever it is.
Yes.
If you're experiencing some kind of a sore throat or whatever,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, it's there. What is it telling me? And what can I do to be there for myself, to take care of myself and nourish myself? Okay, perhaps it's also a belief system. That's something too
Mm-hmm.
that goes even deeper than, let's say, an emotion, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have these emotions really based upon, and what is a belief, right? It's a consistent thought that we think over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
So a belief system is set up, but it's originally a thought. So,
Yeah.
okay, well, where did that thought originate? Where did that belief system originate? Is it even mine? Did I inherit it? Is this,
Yes.
something, because we think about, like, let's say, for example, heart disease, right? Oh, well, it runs in my family. And so you become a quote unquote victim of your genetics, right? But we really have the power to change that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really the goal of what I do, is to be able to transform those beliefs that perhaps are ours that we developed, but really, where did we gain our beliefs from? From our parents, further back, their parents, such and such, and you go down the line.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
um,
Mm-hmm.
it's about transforming that and able to live in your authenticity and
Yeah.
heal on multiple levels.
Human design is similar like the body mechanic energy, how the flow. And so we have a 9 different energy centers. Then they all work interconnectedly. Not to say your head never talk to your roots. No, that's very direct connection when we stress and the stress hormones going up. So it's definitely connected. So we sometimes interpret that's who we are. Like we are grumpy, or just like say we have a doubts, or we have certain belief. It's actually not ours. Like, energy is everywhere. Energy is invisible, and we just didn't see it in the 3D. Our eyes is not that sensitive. But we're using the energy all the time, the smartphone, the radio, the microwave, X-ray, everything with the 9 different energy centers, and depends on an open or defined, we do have different experience. So just like you said, the belief system, I look at you, you have totally open-minded heads. So you're wide open for people to plant the seeds, plant the thoughts or whatever when we're young. If you not pay attention, you just hold on too tight, become a belief. Everybody goes through. It's not the false belief. Is we need to start to distinguish and let it go. Some of the thoughts and belief is not no longer applicable. Maybe in that time when we 5 years old, yeah, that is the strategies we only know. But when we are getting better and mature, some of this just need to let them out, right? So for your openness, I wonder when you are younger, did you feel like you have had a lot of pressures from outside and you don't even know whether you need to do it or not, but you do your best to entertain that pressure, right? So I don't know, I have any story you want to
I
share.
mean, I grew up in a very religious household.
Mm.
So all the religious beliefs, I just went along. This is how I was taught. And for most of my life, I played out all of those beliefs. The I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, I'm not going to make it to heaven unless I do X, Y, Z, A, B, C, D, E, F, and G, right? um and it just becomes, overwhelming. And it's like it's heavier and heavier and heavier. And just really buries your soul's truth further and further, deeper and deeper.
Mm,
And so, yeah, I just was, and then it was like autopilot, and that's just how you run. And it
yeah.
starts to run in the background, and all the things, all the decisions that you make run off of those belief systems that are in the background that it don't come into your conscious awareness until something triggers it. That openness, I was open to all of that and soaked it in like a sponge, and what my place is within the family, within the church. It was always looking for that external approval upon
Mhm.
what I did rather than validating who I really was. So many people are in that loop
Mhm.
of,
Mhm.
well, I have to do this in order to feel loved, and for someone to love me, for someone to recognize
Yeah.
me.
Mhm.
It's what we're doing rather than who we really are.
You have a very solid, grounded energy center. So that I think that really ground you in the way you have a higher intuition, and also you're flowing consistently. And I think that's a such beautiful combination. You have open heads and open solar plexus, so other people emotion, you experience that too. Other side of your body grab so solid. You know who you are. You have a very grounded the G center. That is actually our North Star. You know, people say that's our higher soul actually stay in there. So there and that inner guidance you have totally grounded there. Genetic level every 7 years our stem cell change. So we have this critical time we can actually, just like you said, don't believe you are genetic victim. You can manipulate our biology based on your belief. But did you see that pattern in astrology also has shift?
The first thing that comes to mind really is Jupiter.
Mm,
So it's not a personal planet, because the personal planets move faster around the zodiac.
mm,
So the personal planets being the sun, the moon, Mercury, Venus, and Mars. When we're talking about more of transitioning and life lessons, then we have the transpersonal planets, which are Jupiter
mm,
and Saturn. Jupiter is the planet of expansion.
mm,
It's the planet of blessings. It's looked at in traditional astrology as the malefic or the good planet, right? Jupiter brings you blessings. But Jupiter can also be too much. I mean, if you think about it in our solar system, it's the biggest planet in our solar system,
mm, mm.
right?
Yeah.
So it's like a Jupiter thing would be like there's this whole buffet, but you want everything on the buffet. But afterwards, you're sitting there and your stomach is like
Too much
busting through
pressing, huh?
your pants, right? But anyway, Jupiter has a 12-year cycle.
Ah.
So I was working with one client. It was every time she had her Jupiter return, it was like she was ready for the next level,
Mm,
because Jupiter is also about higher learning. It's about exploration,
mm,
adventure. Every time she had a Jupiter return was like, okay, I'm ready to shift to something else. I'm ready to learn something else. And then we can look at Saturn. Saturn is the timekeeper. It's karma, it's our self mastery, and it's the lessons that we learn in our life. So you have your first Saturn return around 28 29 years old, give or take, depending on retrogrades. First time or full around the zodiac wheel, you're really learning the basics, right? If you think about it, you're really learning about what it's like to be on this 3D planet, right?
Yeah, okay. Makes
And
sense.
learning the structure of everything. And then second time around, it's like you're applying what you learned in the first cycle. You come to points in time, like when the first Saturn square, it's like something that doesn't feel so good, but it's meant to grow you. That square aspect, that 90-degree, is always meant to for growth. And then you have that opposition, which feels like something outside of you that is you're forced to do something. But it's about the balance between the two. Then you come to your second square. So it's going around in a circle. So we 360 degrees. So final square. And that's like, have you learned since your return from all the aspects? Like it's that final pressure. Okay, we're coming up on your second Saturn return. Did you learn everything? Is there anything else that you need to grow or do differently? And then you have your Saturn return. So again, every 28, 29 years.
Oh, okay. That make totally sense. The hexagram at Jinky is based on the in ancient Chinese hexagrams, and each one is 10 years. So when you talk about, Saturn and Jupiter, they are like transpersonal. It's what we learn from the I Ching too. From the first one to the third, it's like 30 years of life. Is for personal growth. It's for personal interaction, relationship building, right? So the lower trigram is more like the 30 years of learning curve. And the upper trigram would be start to contribute, start to really closer to their soul purpose. No wonder we call I Ching the Eastern astrology.
Thing that came to my mind was the archetype of maiden mother crone. So it's like I think of the Saturn the first time around the chart until its first return. That's your maiden voyage, right? Testing the waters. And then the second time around, that's the mother. Okay, you're more responsible now. You're taking on more things and learning more about life, but also teaching. And then you have the crone, that's your final pass in life where you're all the more wiser.
If you are okay, I would like to share your Jinky's profile. So for you, your the activation sequence is a part of called Golden Path. The other two is the Venus sequence, more like the relationship and self-love journey, and teach all this imprinting process. Then the last one is called Pearl. So once we clean it up, we live in the moments, then we were clear about what we need to do. So that is the Pearl sequence. But we're gonna just do activation sequence. Two spheres we call life work and evolution. Those are our doing parts. So we all have some imprint and innate memory about what we do great. So in that life work and evolution, we will automatically choose to something we know how to do. Like we just think that as I like to do it. I enjoy doing that. So that's the doing parts. And the other two sphere, not necessarily we'll discover right away, is called radiance and purpose. They are our beingness. So just like, the iceberg, again, the beingness is the deep in there. Most of us don't even know we have a two different separate doing and being, even we are human beings, but most of we're doing, right? We're doing a lot of things and we love it. So your sphere for life work is 56, evolution is 60. So this 56 in the hexagram is for traveler. So your coming down life work is need to go through a Voyager and travel. And you always start with the beginning. That is the beginning is usually is defaults. vibration. So when you are in the default vibration, the young age, and you are here to learn the skills, you be easy to be distracted because you like to travel, you want to experience things, and your evolution will provide the chance for you to do things with some rules or boundary. So in your kind of shadow frequency on your evolution is limitation. But it's not really the physical limitation. Maybe it's more like your mind because you're distracted and people say, Tara, you're not good, you're not focused, you know that. So you say you are limited. I say, okay, so I have to be here. Um, but it maybe kind of take out your joy. The life work and evolution, you have a lot of challenges in between. You need to go through it, you have to explore it. But there's all for the good reason. So eventually you can go up to that distraction become enrichment because you taste this, you do this, you try that, then they can all become part of the great creation. Right? Because you cannot create something from only one thing. The best things is really just combine, right? Diversify for a lot of things. So that's your doing part when you're traveling around and you limit yourself, but then you also the limitation become more of the realism. That means you can transfer your imagination or the enrichment, but become the practical solutions. So you realize that. So they become a tool. So that's your doing parts. Wonder you have any comment want to add?
Familiar with my gene keys. I've studied them. I've never looked at it in that way, though, that I'm the wanderer, which I love to travel, but I haven't traveled much in my life. See, that's the irony, right? So there's the limitation.
But you travel in the cosmos, come on.
Oh, well, yeah, I travel in my mind,
Yes.
right? But physically traveling,
Mm.
I'd like to do more of that in the second half of my life. So that's interesting. I never thought about taking that inspiration and that all the different things in my mind and being able to make it real. I always thought it's about, I looked at it through the lens of, all right, I got to get real with myself. Okay, this is, and working within the laws of the universe, right? So, but being able to use those laws in creating my reality. So it's like that has been a shift for me, but like being able to collect all the different aspects and being able to make them real, that's something I never thought about. Thank you for that little piece of enlightenment there.
But the funny part is, um, the more we get those things we don't have, the more we think about actually we have something else. We don't need that anymore. It's like, the security blanket or the crutches, whatever you're gonna call it, it's like we need that before we can move. But then when you finally get it, you say, wait a minute, I have something else even better than this. Why we want to hold on to it, right? But that is the grow up process. So, but before we can already align with our being, the radiance and purpose, we need to go through this very particular sphere called SQ. So in Jinky is talking about that as a spiritual intelligence. That is our 7 years imprinting. So it's a lot of things we don't understand. That 7 years is all still in there as in the operation program. So it's only when we allow to let it loose, or we brave enough to say, I just want to break through it, then we have a chance to see our beingness. But most of us will stay in the doing to improve our skill to do a lot of things. So we feel more comfortable to let it go. That little innocent child has traumas or have something we don't understand, but now we don't need to have that security blanket. So we can go in to see the beingness. So the first sphere for the being is called radiance. It's mean when we really like ourselves and we trust the whole process, we start to have a light shining through because we start to take out all those black energies and emotions. So then the light can finally go through it better. So you will see somebody is happy and their skin is like shiny. They don't even put any makeup. They just happy like a little innocent kids. When the kids is happy, they are laughing for no reason, right? They just crazy in there. That's how the being is. We're supposed to go back just like when we were young. But for your key is number 3. So that is after the number 1 is the heaven, number 2 is the earth. And you think about when the universe started, it's a lot of chaos, the thunder, the light, fire, water, all kind of cooking together. That is the key for you. So in a way, when you're in the low vibration or shadows, you try to deal with the chaos. You use the chaos to make your innovation because that is the opportunities. When everything's steady, everything just like peaceful and stillness, there's no new things can happen. When you get in, then we start, losing. So the chaos is really give us an opportunity other than just the chaos we see. It's the vibration, it's the changes, it's everything like that. But your beingness really just to get into the chaos, and but you know how to flow with the chaos, then you can create new things that make you healthy because you like to let go with a lot of rules. Um, when you finally can let go that rule, you see chaos as opportunities that can flow you to a higher realm, then make you even more shiny and happy. So that's your radiance.
Oh, but out of that came a longing to do something different. It's like I learned you cannot do the same thing over and over and over again and expect different results, right? So it forces you in a way, okay, well, how can I approach this situation in a different manner to create a different result?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've learned to go with the flow, be able to, all right, well, you get so fixed. I need to do such and such today, and then something comes up and whatever, and that doesn't get done today. And it's like, okay, I'll do it tomorrow, or it's half done. I'll finish the rest tomorrow. And it's,
Mm-hmm.
learning how to be also gentle with yourself, and you
Yeah.
can do what you can do, and things come up, and
Mm-hmm.
being able to handle when things just pop up out of the blue, right?
Yes, yes. Because the highest expression is innocence for this key. So you can picture a 3 years old, they make a lot of mess and chaos, throw the bucket of the Lego in the air. Because they like to experience that chaos because they are such an innocent. Because really the higher city and the shadow, they're just flip the coin. But in the gifts frequency is for us to have opportunity to see both. So we can use the chaos, but also we can use our innocence. So that become your innovation power. You want to do something to make the chaos not that. You want to manage the chaos a little bit to feel comfortable, but you also has this playfulness. I just why not? Then I have
Yeah.
a mess, right? So that is your the radiant keys. Then your purpose key is 50. 50 in the ancient hexagram is kind of like a big anchor pot. People coming to celebrate something, they have this humongous cooking pots in the middle of the palace. They put everything in there and they cook and they serve to everybody coming to celebrate. So that is also a symbol about a prosper country or the kingdom. And people feel that is the indication this is their home. So for you, you are the anchor person, 50. And but in the beginning, based on our system, because the low vibe is called corruption. It's not the mental corruption or the money or power. It's more like the data in we translate the data in the wrong way. So think about if we grow up, you mentioned about very solid rules. Those rules are passing down through certain way. But you think about if at the beginning people using the wrong way to say this, then that's the corruption, because that is when I see something, you see something, we have a total different definition, right? So if we follow only one person's definition, then that causes a corruption because we are all part of the whole. The only way we can see the whole truth is really collect all the information and make it diverse. It couldn't be one people say that's right and one people say it's wrong, and both they are right. Right, they see different angle. So that 50 is really the person you uh, aware this, so you welcome different way to interpret things, but you also maintain from the chaos become equilibrium. You know, equilibrium is still moving. It's not really balanced, right? Because you're moving as flow with the chaos. Each chaos has their purpose for it. And you know, the 3D is duality. So you have one here, one need to be there to balance it. Otherwise, you will lose. You can no longer be in the 3D anymore. So that's how you see the words and different opinion, different tools, but they are coming to maintain that equilibrium. But that would be your true purpose thing here. You are the wanderer to start with, but then you open your get more flow other than too rigid to see something, but you all understand they are just part of the truth. So you flow with that, and eventually your highest 50 is the harmony. So you're here to bring harmony, to bring your life experience and bring all this different modality and help people to maintain their harmony.
My midheaven. So your midheaven is the point in between your ninth and your 10th house. It's at the very top of your chart, and it's what you're known for in this life, in your career. So, and mine is Libra. So and Libra, it's all about balance and harmony, but it's also about disharmony. So it's about taking that what seems chaotic and like disharmonious, and harmony also through conflict. So creating that balance and that harmony. People think harmony is and balance is always peaceful. It's not, unfortunately. Sometimes in order to create balance and equilibrium, you have to go through a period of imbalance and disharmony. All right, if I'm doing this roller coaster analogy right now, so you're climbing up and up and up, and you're like all excited and all excited, but you're getting scared. Oh, I know it's gonna drop. I know it's gonna drop. And then all of a sudden you drop, and it's just like you fall, and it's just that exhilarating feeling of the experience of life. Really, we came here to experience the highs and the lows. And if everything is just bum, you think about you just moseying along, then it's like,
Exactly. Yeah. That's how I really love this up and down thing. You talk about roller coaster. Yeah. Like we have an expectation about thrill is going to happen. But it's just the real life. Sometimes we're just so naive, think about can hold on things and stay in the higher points.
The ups and downs really shows us what we're made of. Really, truly, honestly. Because if things were just peaceful and everything all the time, it's like, and the same all the time. It's like, how are you expanding? How are you learning? How are you tapping into your own internal resources that perhaps you didn't realize you had?
That's so
And then,
true.
and then a new gift emerges from that.
The universe really love us. They give us all the opportunity to have fun, to go up and down, to have something emotional triggers, and we already have everything we need. And we just need to trust it. Then enjoy every moment and don't label anything too early. You never know, right? Things happen all for a reason, but we always think that is automatically think that is not nice, that is not fair. But then maybe 30 years after, you can see, oh, when the Saturn coming here, the message is this. I finally get it. Right? So, wow, I'm so happy to have a chance to talk to you, Tara. And I wonder, have any particular place want people to connect with you?
Thank you, Sunny, first of all, for having me as your guest. It was an absolute pleasure. I enjoyed this conversation thoroughly. People can find me at my website at solsticemoon.com, but solstice is spelled SOULSTICE. I'm also on Instagram at Solstice Moon Astro. So you could reach me there. I also have a contact form on my website. You can take a look around at that. Every month I hold a new moon intentions workshop. If anybody's interested in that, that's absolutely free every month. I teach you how to use the energy of the new moon to be able to set intentions so that it's personal. So you see where the new moon is occurring in your own birth chart. So you would have to bring your birth chart along, and I can assist you in going over the themes of the new moon that month. I also have a free monthly lunar newsletter. Every month I write about the energies of the full moon occurring.
I really appreciate you, Tara. We all have so many things can talk about for hours. To thank you again for who you are, to live your truths and your authenticity, and particularly put the things together, innovation, because that is something we really need. We need to diversify all the tools so then we can really shine and expand. So thank you for being who you are.
Thank you, Sunny, for bringing sunshine to everyone's life. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We'll see you around, Tara.
Bye.
Bye-bye.